Hello everyone, I am Dr. Dhanya J S, Assistant Professor, Department of Science, Rai School of Sciences, Rai University, Ahmedabad. Today we are discussing about Fibre Optic Fundamentals. So as we all know, and we are knowingly or unknowingly using the fiber optics and basically in transmission or communication purpose. In this section we will discuss what is optical fiber, what is the main advantages, what is the working principle, what are the disadvantages, what are the basic applications, etc. in the section. As in the starting, what is the outline? The outline of my today's section is, first I will give a basic introduction of the optical fibers and why we are using optical fiber other than that traditional copper cables, and what is the basic principle behind the working, and what are the types of optical fibers, what are the advantages, disadvantages, and what is the main applications other than communication in the case of an optical fiber. So let's start with the section that is introduction. So optical fiber, as we all know, basically used for the communication. But other than communication, there are many vast applications of this optical fiber. So the optical fiber is a thin flexible glass fiber, basically using light signal as a transmission purpose. So the optical fibers are widely used in fiber optic communication, which permit transmission over longer distance without much loss or without less loss. So fibers are used instead of traditional metal wires because signal travel at the long distance having very less loss in the case of optical fiber. Moving forward, as compared to the traditional copper cables, the optical fiber has revolutionized the communication mainly and made efficient data transmission possible with less power and less loss. And the traditional copper wires are widely used from over years, but as the fiber optics came, it has been a common alternative for the transmission. Optical fiber can carry more information, that is the main thing. It has less interference and it has less loss and can be minimized very easily. So this is the main thing behind the using of optical fiber. So let's start with what is optical fiber. As I already told, optical fiber is a flexible transparent fiber made of mainly glass or sometimes mainly plastics. So it consists of mainly, other than copper fiber, it consists of mainly three parts. That is a core part, which is where we are transmitting the light signal, and covering that is a cladding, and again covering the protective cover, that is a jacket. It may be made of plastic also. So it is mainly used for communication, and which has illumination, used for illumination purpose also, that we all seen in the advertisement and all. For illumination purpose also these optical fibers are vastly used. So what is the main working principle? As we all know, the light can reflect. So in the optical fiber, the working principle is the total internal reflection. So what is total internal reflection? It is if the light signal passes through the core, what will happen? It will reflect in a zigzag manner, and with less loss it will come in the end point. That means with a reflection we can transmit the signal from starting to the ending, so that not much loss has been occurred, and the cladding and jacket are designed such that it has a less refractive index, so that light cannot pass through that point. So we are confining our light signal in the core part only, so that we are getting a less loss signals. When light signals are sent through the fiber optic cable, they reflect off the core and cladding in a series of zigzag manner, as you can see in the figure. That is in a zigzag manner it is traveling. So that there comes the importance of the total internal reflection. This zigzag manner is called as total internal reflection. So the main working principle of optical fiber is total internal reflection. So here we can see the basic diagram also, that is transmitter and receiver. In between optical fiber we are using. So light, when it enters in the core, it will obey in the form of a zigzag, and without much loss it will come in the end part, so that our information is very purely we will get in the output also. So what are the types of optical? As we all heard that for a multiple transmitting signals, so what we want to do is we have to use many optical fibers. So in the optical fiber it is not that case. For in the case of copper fiber, we have to use, suppose if we want to send text and signal, so we want to construct a 10 copper cables. But in the case of optical fiber, only one optical fiber is needed to transmit 10 or much more signal at a time. That is a main important thing. So how it is possible? In the case of single mode, that is one signal at a time, we can also transmit as in the case of first figure. But in the case of multiple signals, we can also use the same optical fiber at a time. That is the main important. That means 10 or many different signal can transmit without much loss or without much interference at a time, that you can see in the figure. So as per the difference, there are multi-mode fiber and single mode fiber that we can choose accordingly. Which type of signal we are using, that we can choose. The main thing is for single mode only less distance it will cover. Multi-mode also sometimes less distance and long distance we can use. Single mode we can use less and we can main application in the large distance cases. So what are the advantages? Some of the advantages are, as I already told, it can travel long distance with a much less loss and a higher bandwidth capacities, and capacity also higher. There are less interference. That means if we travel, it will transmit 10 or more signal. It won't happen any interference. So we will get the signal individually at the end point. And some of the disadvantages is, compared to the copper cable, these optical fibers are little bit costlier. So, and also maintenance also less it is needed. Sometimes if some error happen, that means there is a complete loss of the signal happen. This is the disadvantages of the optical fiber. So some of the main application other than optical communication, some applications are computer networking, broadcasting, and internet and cable television. Undersea environment also it is very useful, military and space, and another main thing is medical purpose. Suppose example endoscopy and all, we are using optical fiber to collect the information from the human body. That means for the medical purpose also there is a vast application in the case of optical fiber. Some of the reference that is very useful in the sections, and thank you.